What's up guys, Wale here. Welcome back to the channel. Today's video is an interesting one, and that's because one of the common challenges we face as investors living and working outside the US is the dilemma of whether to invest our money in Naira denominated assets or dollar denominated assets. And so in this video, we're going to explore exactly some of the pros and cons of each investment strategy, which should you go for, and some of the drawbacks. So sit back, relax, and enjoy this one. If you've not subscribed yet, please do subscribe, and also like this video if you get value out of it. So let's jump in. Now, before the turn of the millennium, stock market investing used to be for the elite in the society. Big banks, big corporations only had the privilege to invest, and that's because it was expensive to become an investor. You need huge amount of money to get into the game. Investing was saddled with so much paperwork, and even financial information of listed companies was almost inaccessible. Today, we can say things have changed. The development of fintech apps like Robinhood, Trove, Bamboo has given middle class the access into investing in the stock market. Right now, on an app like Trove, you can invest in Nigerian stocks, US stocks, London stocks, Chinese stock. And so with a wide range of options out there, what investment strategy should you go by? To answer this question, let me take you back to February 2020. At that time in Nigeria, rumors had begun to brew that the Central Bank of Nigeria was going to devalue the currency. Already there was speculation, huge speculations at the black market, such that the price of dollar against the Naira had begun to go up. At first, I didn't know what to do with my money, so I left it in the bank. And then after I thought about it, that why keep my money in the bank? Why not change your money into USD and hedge it against devaluation? So that's exactly what I did. So I converted all my money, put it in a dollar fund account, and hedged it against devaluation. What happened after was interesting. Naira got devalued by over 24%, and I also got a return of 6% on my dollar fund account. So you might want to think, this is smart. Why didn't I think of this? Well, hold on, slow down. It has its own drawback, and hence why I'm making this video. So I'm going to go through some of the drawbacks I found out after I'd invested in this dollar denominated assets. Drawback number one in converting your funds into dollar and investing in a dollar fund account. Number one is it requires good timing, because you have to time the market right. Otherwise, you'll be buying dollar at a very high rate, which will not yield you any profit. Remember that most of your profit will come from the devaluation of your local currency, and in my case, Naira. And so if you're not getting that huge chunk of profit from your devaluation, then you might not get a huge return on your investment. And so you have to be convinced that your local currency is overvalued, such that when you do get into the game, you are a step ahead. Now, drawback number two is that most dollar fund accounts require you to put in your money for a minimum period of 180 days. I didn't know when I put in my money. And so after the devaluation, I wanted to get my money out and say, please convert all my money back into Naira and use it for whatever I wanted to use it for. But I got told that you have to hold back for 180 days, and as such, I couldn't get my money out, which was quite frustrating. The third drawback is there's a high minimum entry for most dollar investments. Some of the very low entry ones will require you to buy about 10 units of their share, and that might be as high as $1,000. And so it's quite capital intensive to get into some of these dollar fund investments. Now, things have changed a bit with the advent of apps like Bamboo and Trove, and that's because they allow fractional investing, which will then allow you to buy a fraction of a share. So you don't need to buy a full share, you can buy a fraction of it, and such that with 1,000 Naira, you can get into the game. So I think that is brilliant. Number four is there's a high commission rate on any dollar investment fund, and that's because we are dealing in a stronger currency. I mean, a 2% or a 3% commission on a dollar fund is way higher than a 3% on a Naira fund investment type. I think 3% or 2% is even too high. Anything more than 1.5%, I think, to me, is a bit too high. So you have to really look at the fine details and make sure that the commission rate is something that you are okay with and it's fine by you. Now, the last one, number 5, is converting all your money into a dollar or a stronger currency. Means that you wouldn't have access to it when an investment in Naira shows up. So let's say there's an investment opportunity that shows up in Naira to buy a real estate investment. Converting all your money into dollars means you have to go get it from where it is, you have to sell it and then convert it back to Naira. All that time might make you lose out on a Naira investment. One of the mistakes I made was to convert everything I had into dollars. And so you want to split what you have, still keep some residual cash in Naira such that you can use it to transact and do whatever you want to do while putting some money in your dollar assets. I've been talking for too long. Now, speaking of Naira investment, there are plenty of options out there for you to invest in Naira. I made a video on investment options for 2021. If you've not watched that video, please check on this link here, or I'll leave it also in the description below so that you can check it out. Now, most Naira investment offer competitive rate between 10 to 35%, depending on which one you invest in. Some agri-tech, for example, offer as high as 35% for 7 months, and stock markets generally will give you between 10 or 12 or 15%, or even more, depending on the share or the stock that you buy. Now, what are some of the drawbacks of keeping your investments in Naira denominated assets? Well, number 1 is you would be investing in a weaker currency. We all know that Naira is really weak and it's getting weaker by the day. I think that's the only drawback here. But I mean, if you're not doing anything in US dollars, then you don't need to bother about making money in US dollars. Now, what are the benefits of investing in Naira? Of course, there are plenty of options out there. So many options to choose from. It's convenient. You don't have to convert your funds into any currency. And 3 is there's a low commission, and this is because you're dealing with your local currency, which is Naira. So you don't have to bother about a very high commission rate as is in the dollar investment type. And lastly, which I think is the most important, there's a very low entry point. So if you're investing in Naira denominated assets, you have an opportunity to get in with as little as 1,000 Naira. There's almost no barrier to getting into the game. Having gone through both investment types, the benefits and the cons of both investment strategy, you see that even though both are completely different, local currency, foreign currency, there isn't really a wide difference between your return on investment. One could potentially yield you a 6 to 7.5% on your investment, as well as a decent percentage should your local currency be devalued, and the other could potentially get you 10 to 35% depending on your investment type. So eventually it boils down to choice. For me, I like to keep some of my investments in US dollars so I can earn some foreign currency while also maintaining some in Naira because it's convenient and it provides me with an avenue to diversify my portfolio. So at the end of the day, it is possible to enjoy the best of both worlds by investing in Naira, and if you can get the timing right and converting your funds to dollars and investing in some dollar denominated assets. Meanwhile, as regards timing the market, I do not think you have to be a genius to know when the currency is going to be devalued. If you follow the news, this is something that you would see coming, and you'll know that your currency is currently overvalued. Right now, Naira is currently overvalued by 18% according to IMF. So in the long run, it might take 6 months, it might take a year, it might take 2 years. In the long run, Naira is going to get devalued at some point, except of course if Naira starts gaining again on the dollar. Fingers crossed, that's what I hope for. I need to make a quick disclaimer here. I am not a financial analyst. I'm just a random guy on YouTube. These are strategies that I have tried privately, and I'm just sharing it for you guys so you can learn from them as well. If you found value out of this video, do give it a like and also subscribe for more content like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.